Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian criticizing U.S. President Donald Trump for depriving Tehran of his nuclear rights. The issue has been a red line for both sides as mediators try to get them back to the negotiating table.
ما آغازگر جنگ نبودیم. ما به جایی حمله نکردیم. الان هم قصد این که به کسی حمله کنیم نداریم. حقوقمون رو میخوایم. اینا با قلدری میخوان حقوق یک ملتی رو یک جامعه رو ندن. میگه ما تصمیم گرفتیم شما باید از این حق استفاده نکنید. چرا؟ به چه جرمی؟ تو چیکاره ای؟
Only days left on an existing ceasefire, but shipping through the Strait of Hormuz remains at a standstill. Iran has reasserted control after declaring it open on Friday. The Revolutionary Guard Corps has reportedly prevented 2 tankers from passing through today. The vessels sailing under the flags of Botswana and Angola were forced to change course. Tehran says the strait will remain closed as long as the U.S. continues its naval blockade on Iranian ports. An RRGC commander says Tehran is replenishing its missile and drone launches at higher speed than it did before the war. Iran is set to resume international flights tomorrow from Mashdod Airport in the country's northeast. Iranian airports have been closed since the war with the U.S. and Israel broke out on the 28th of February. Just days before the truce expires, reported security arrangements in Pakistan indicate a possible second round of talks. Heavy police presence is noted in Islamabad's red zone, where discussions first took place last weekend. Nearly 20,000 security forces, including the police and military, are said to be ready for deployment. But neither the U.S. nor Iran have confirmed talks. CNA spoke with Benjamin Radd from the UCLA Burkle Center for International Relations, and he explains why he's not optimistic about a long-term deal between the U.S. and Iran.
This is not a regime that is willing to concede on the 3 primary areas that President Trump has demanded for an end to the war. Number 1, zero enrichment going forward. Number 2, an end to its ballistic missile development program. And number 3, end of support for proxy groups abroad. This is not a regime that's going to back down from those 3 positions. I think these negotiations that we're hearing about at best may restore a degree of functionality to the strait and to transit in the Gulf, but it is not going to take us to the status quo ante before the war began. Both parties are simply too far apart, and their positions are simply too intractable, I think, to result in any meaningful negotiations that will bring this whole thing to an end anytime soon.
Right, so that doesn't give a lot of, I suppose, optimism to the potential talks that may resume. What is your take then on how Pakistan and some of the other countries are doing to actually bring these 2 parties back to the table?
I think what they want to do is they want to see a degree of normalcy return to the area, specifically, again, allowing the flow of goods and ships, cargo through the strait. I think obviously that impacts all of them. It has global consequences. What we're seeing an attempt by the Pakistanis and others is to really find any pathway that will allow negotiations to result in something fruitful. But again, both sides have taken these maximalist positions. President Trump cannot agree to any deal, any offer that comes close to what the 2015 Iran deal, the JCPOA, was. He made it a point of his 2016 campaign to criticize President Obama and what he called Obama's Iran deal, which he said was a bad deal, the worst deal ever. So for the Iranians, the best they would possibly do is a deal similar to the 2015 deal, given that the regime believes it has leverage in the straits. I really don't see what can be accomplished in Pakistan, and I hate to be pessimistic about this. I'm just being realistic when I'm looking at the scenario, and I'm not seeing a way forward unless something very, very drastic changes.